Cool. There we go, Vin. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. So I had written that before, and I think because it was I was using my cell phone, it didn't update it or something. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Zombie Demonoids Internet, what's going on? It's Sunday. No, it's not. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Those days are easy to mix up. You know what? All the days with Y's just kind of bleed together. You would think maybe we'd be back on track, back on time, back on calendars, after the dark times, after everything went crazy, but nope. Still no idea. Jill's here with us. She's hammering away on her. It's one of those mechanical keyboards that I'm like, why? It's like, but it's a quiet, noisy. I don't know, man.
There we go.
How would you roll? I want to ask everybody at home, if you're listening right now, if you're going to have a mechanical keyboard, should you just go all out and just get the loudest, most obnoxious, noisiest thing that you should get? Or is the strategy to get the mechanical keyboard that just makes a little bit of noise?
Okay, I got it, Vin.
Which one do you feel is right for you? The super loud one? That's how I would roll. I got to think like, man, if I was going to pick up a mechanical keyboard, I want one that I want ones that like people in other rooms could hear, like clonk, 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 ka-chonk.
No, I have this keyboard, so it's quiet, so it doesn't drive you up the wall, Vin.
Exactly. No, I was talking while you were typing. I was like, what's the point of one that just makes a little bit of noise? So what are you getting from that?
Oh, it still has nice, travel time for playing games with WASDA, and
that's
so
all that.
I
those
still
excuses.
I have the feel, but not the loud, obnoxious noise.
It makes quiet, obnoxious noise.
Yeah.
Everyone can still hear it. But that's the important thing about a mechanical keyboard. It's like people who ride motorcycles with straight pipes on it. You want everyone to know. You're like, clack, 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 clack. The most obnoxious box shades or box net? I don't know, man. Like, again, I think I was talking about this on the Sunday stream, the editing stream. Hello, Arthur, and hello, Mir. I grew up with mechanical, like, that's what we had growing up, mechanical keyboards. Like, there was no membrane keyboards until, like, what? Like, early 90s? Like, when they were just readily available and they started coming with everything.
Yeah.
And, but, like, all through the 80s, like, everything I had was mechanical keyboards. Everything. Buckled springs, like, click, 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 and I hated it, man. I'm like, these things are pointless. And, then they came up with a better technology. The biggest problem is most people have never bothered or spent the money or even got their hands on. When you think of a membrane keyboard, you think about those, like the one I have right here. I can't pick it up, but like the membrane keyboard, everybody's thinking that's spongy, nasty, like impossible to type on. That's a real thing. That's what you think about. Because most people never put their finger digits on a good mechanical keyboard, not mechanical, but a good memory keyboard. And those exist.
Yeah.
And they don't make noise.
They don't make noise. Hi, Arthur and Mir. I see you there. Oh, Vin, I'm not getting the lower thirds and graphics.
I don't have any lower thirds up right now.
Just your beautiful camera and no chat.
So you're not getting return video.
Correct.
All right.
And getting your camera return video, but not not our final return video.
Now you are.
There we go.
It's just a button click away, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. What was it? Linus, the Squeaky Linus. He did one. It might have been this week, might have been last week. I don't know. It popped up in my feed. And I think it was like HP or somebody had like a gaming keyboard with red switches on it. And they took it apart. And it had red switches, but instead of actually doing the buckling with a relay, the switch just pushed down on a membrane that was under it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what?
Oh, hi, Brother Jellybean. Yay, I'm glad you came in. He just got back from an awesome trip in the Philippines with his girlfriend and her family. So
that is like
pretty
100% better than like a tragic trip to the Philippines.
Yeah. My brother got to go to the Orient.
I'll always say like memorable, because memorable, you got a lot of wiggle room in memorable. You're like, yeah, it was a memorable trip.
Yeah, so that was cool. So we got to visit her family, all her family and extended family. There were some beautiful pictures from there, Jack. I was so impressed, and I hearted them all on Facebook. There was probably about, 100 of them, 100 pictures, and I went through them all. I saved some of the best ones, especially the ones of you and Maria, Jack.
Arthur, what did you get a job landed for? What type of insanity are you going to be up to?
Oh, yeah. Good, Arthurian.
Trying to stretch out my right shoulder. My back.
Oh, did you?
Nah, man, I did something like maybe like Thursday or Friday. Like, I don't know what I did. And I don't pay attention to what I do most of the time if it's just stuff like, physical exertion type things. And I got something like pulled something in the bottom, like lower half of my back. So it only hurts when I move.
Yeah, I know you've been talking about it on LGC Weekly. And
yeah, I talked about it during the pre-show. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just still waiting for everything to get worked out. Sysadmin. A lot of DevOps, AWS. Yeah, everything's moving to that though, man.
Yeah.
It warms my heart that you're such a young old timer.
Yeah. Oh, Arthurian, I so hope maybe you got a bit of a raise from this after losing your last job to no fault of your own. They were just downsizing. So maybe this one you get paid a little bit more. But I know you loved your last job, and that was really sad when you lost it.
The old days of being the guy in the room who was constantly left alone to do whatever you saw fit. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
I feel bad for people like that because that was a cool time. It was pretty dope, to be honest with you. And it's not like a humble brag. But, now you kind of get your own thing because, like, work from home is negotiable, like, with any IT position. At this point, you might not get full work from home, but you can probably, like, manage, like, 4 to even 6 days a week, like 1 day a week in office or something like that. Outsourcing. Oh, man. How are we doing? All right. Let's get underway.
Good, Arthur. And I remember you said you were doing pretty well on your other job. So at least it's equivalent and not less. So that's good.
What we got here? All right. So we get going in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's get that wound up. I got that plugged in. I got a couple things I'm trying right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm reworking some things for a different series, I guess. Like for audio production, I always get hung up doing a couple things because I still want to do the OBS. What we need, we need like 3 more days in the week. All right, give me 3 more days during the week, and I get a lot more done. If we could get that hammered out, that'd be great. Did anybody go see the Super Mario Brothers movie? Oh, man. So I did buy, I drink a lot of like the Crystal Light stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's not Crystal Light. I buy whatever's cheapest.
Alternative. Yeah.
Like I'm not picky. As long as it's sugar free, I'm like, all right, I'm down. I'll get it. And I drink a lot, like a liquid. Like I'm always drinking like as soon as I get up,
Same here.
And it's like, man, let's try like one of those, like the big round tins of the drink mix.
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's try that. I haven't, and I was like, I might get bored with that one flavor. And I'm like, get real. You drink like 2 flavors. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just because they're the first 2 flavors on the aisle.
Yeah.
That's why I drink them. They're the first ones I come to. And it's nasty. It tastes like watered down.
It's a bad one, huh?
I was about to say, Jill, you ever spend a night in jail?
Ew.
It tastes like that stuff they give you.
Ew. Yeah, I haven't had Crystal Light in a while, but I used to drink it all the time because now I'm hooked on Hint. Hint is the water with the 0 calorie flavoring.
This
and I
tastes like,
love that.
It has no artificial sweetener in it, and I don't like sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Something. This tastes
you
like
need to have some flavor.
something other than like flavor with nothing and water. That's what it tastes like. Like I was going to drink water. Like why?
Ew. What brand was it, Ben?
I don't know.
Was it like Kroger or Safeway or something like that?
I couldn't tell you to save my life, Joe.
Okay. Some generic. It might have been just really old, too. Sometimes that happens. Was it all clumped together? I remember.
It wasn't clumped together. It might have been
okay.
Crystal Light itself. Or like High C or something like that. Because they were all like the same price. I just got the one that said sugar-free on it. Oh, yeah. Come on. A little disorderly conduct.
Not like me.
Oh, man. Hello, Justin.
Oh, hi, Justin.
So I had to go back last night when I got a couple of things wrapped up after we did the stream. I had to go back and finish that track.
Oh, okay. Yes. The one all of us were, I guess, was it you and Tree Sloth?
No, it was on the Tree Sloth that made it around.
Tree Sloth, okay.
That was it. That's what I posted. And if you look at our Trackmanias and channel on Discord right now, that's why I posted that thing. I'm like, now there's two names on it.
Now there's two names, you and, yeah. Okay, so I saw that earlier.
That is going to be a monster to get around on
oh, yeah.
Friday. I look forward to it. I like a challenge like that.
Yeah. No, I know I'll get through it. I just got to practice. I came close because I did see the final, goal. So I did see it.
I saw it a couple of times, and it's one of those. You got to hit it right.
You got to do that through the walls, back and forth and back and forth. That's the once I got through the first wall.
Yeah, that one's a little tricky, isn't it?
Yeah,
because you got to do that run, then you got to do the loop.
Yeah,
that's one of those transitions. The second you start thinking about it, you can't make it.
Exactly, because you hit it just wrong and you flip.
I'm saying like, okay, I'm gonna take my time. Yeah. Nope. So this is gonna be a good time. If you're looking for that crippling addiction, I'll go ahead and tell you. Go check out Trackmania, our retro gaming thing we do on Tuesdays and Fridays. It's a good time. If you like hearing people make strange noises, man, we got you covered.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, what's going on? How you doing?
Hi, Boo.
What else have we got?
Brother Jack's in the house too, honey.
So we are going to talk about Solus.
Yeah, I had read that last night.
And Arthur and I took a look at that Universal Blue project. I've talked with the guy behind that. He contacted me when I did the Fedora Silverblue stream. Which I don't know for anything, but one of the new things in Fedora is when you go to the store, it doesn't block apps, commercial apps.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's say Jill will tell you all about it when she reads it in the show notes.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. Okay.
We're going to be doing that. And I would like to think my little rant that was watched by somebody involved in Fedora had something to do with me, or something to do with that getting changed.
Okay, maybe I should go take a break real quick, and I will be ready as soon as I get back.
You got 3 minutes now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All I know about Solus is, like, it was Pedro's new favorite thing, and like one little thing set him off, so he just noped out, Pedro. And my Euro, Stefan. Dude, do you think like the hiring managers who got like a weird thing for people whose names start with ST? Think it's something like that? But yeah, Solus is gonna be alive again. It's gonna get rebased on Serpent OS. Why? Because Ike came back and he's like, all right, let me see if I can fix this. Well, reading, we're going to talk about it because it's the post on the Solus blog. I was reading over that and I was doing a little backtracking, doing a little bit of research. Because it's like Solus, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. And yeah, it looks like they're going to be working together again. I had Ike on the show a couple of years ago, like back when Solus was first like rolling. He's an alright guy. Now I think against him. I mean, the reality is anytime you do anything public facing on the internet, there's some people that like that's their like weird little existence, man. That's why I tell people, they're just like full of like the haterade, right? And there's going to be against it, contrarian. I always imagine that's something to think about, especially if you're a content creator. You get like literally a drive-by comment from somebody who's not subscribed. Somebody who's just subscribed, or nobody you've ever heard, haven't bothered. And that's always the key thing. You look at their little avatar. If that's blank, usually going to be pretty low ever comment. But these type of people get up in the morning and they're just like driving down the street launching Molotov cocktails. Like that's how they comment. Like that's what they do. It's a weird existence. So I don't really get it. Like, I don't see the point getting upset with that. I lobbied to make sure that news guy get placed in my row just to make it all right with the universe. All right. Ugh. This stuff is really not good. It tastes too much like water. Who really I don't like plain water. Plain water is just pointless. Water is bad. Like this is not, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. Like plain water is bad. Water is useful. You can make awesome things with water, like beer and basic. Water's a good starting point for a beverage. But if that's the entirety of the beverage, like live a little. Come on, let's try something outside. Gatorade? I'm not again. I don't know. I've always been the Powerade. I'll take Powerade. Like a sugar-free Powerade.
I think I prefer Gatorade because Powerade to me is very slimy tasting. It's like, I like the flavor, but it feels very oily. I guess that's what it is.
Red Gatorade. You're not messing with it. It's sports drink. Now this is one of the times where you will catch me drinking water if I ever go to the gym. I get drugged to the gym sometimes. Or if I'm boxing, I'll just drink water because I don't really want anything more complicated than water. I've avoided water even as a child, man. I was drinking coffee when I was a kid. That's not a humble brag. That was just a reality of it. I'm sure that wasn't. It was a different time, people. I'm sure they would remove your children from you now. If you're like, sure, have coffee. It's not going to hurt you. And the same person that says that will give like a kid like a sugar drink, and I'm like, that's worse for you. I'm willing to bet. Coffee and tea, man. That's how you rock. Dude, okay, here's the idea, though. You know they have the soda streams, right? And the soda streams, they'll do the carbonation on your beverages. You know, then you get sparkling water. I like sparkling water, but I like it mixed with something. I'm like, man, that'd be dope to have. But those little canisters are like crazy expensive. Like when you want it in the quantity I do, you can hack them. People have come up with hacks for the soda stream so you can wire in a full-size CO2, like commercial canister to it.
Oh, that's cool.
So you just have that big chonking tank.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it. And see, that's going to be the problem, though. That's, again, like one of the reasons I've not bought a laser cutter. I don't want, because I know me, I will walk around the house looking for things that need cut with a laser. And with the soda stream or something like that, I'll be walking around the house looking for things that need to be carbonated. A lot of seltzer. Yeah, plain seltzer I don't like. Do you like plain seltzer, Joe?
Yes, I do, actually. I didn't used to, but I do now. And I think it's because I'm drinking those 0-calorie carbonated drinks. So even without flavor, it hasn't seemed to bother me. Hi, Don M. Hi, Not Thinking Tinker. Like that name. Cool name. And I saw someone in here. Oh, Follow Stan. Yeah. And Beastie. Hi, Beastwick.
All right, you missed Green.
And Scoots.
Let me go get something that doesn't taste like sad water. And we're going to come back and we're going to do a show.
Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, we have a big show today. There's lots of Linux news lately. There's so much we couldn't figure out what. Yeah, I was having an issue trying to figure out what to include and what not to include, and just so much. Oh, happy Camel Hump Day. Thank you, Don M. Oh, I like the water. Water Steve husband, that's cute. It's crying. What is a hell elks? Well, it's something that Vin is the first person I've heard that term, but apparently it is a term used, but he uses it like whatever else we come up with, heck, instead of using, profanity. So hell elk is okay to say. And you can thank Steve Husband for the Hell Elks picture flashing at the very beginning of LGC Weekly. Because Ven brought in a picture of an elk with fire in the background and everything. And so now that's been included as part of the show. Yes, because Steve Husband Banks suggests it all the time, every week. Hell Elks. Day-to-day speech, yeah. It's mostly Ven speak. Yeah, what says on the tin. Beastie was asking what a hell elk is. Ven.
Oh, it's coinable phrase that you can turn into merchandise. It's part of being like social media type thing, and like having something that can stick in people's heads. So you might as well, not monetize or capitalize on something, but like in the social conscience, you think, hell elks, LGC, it's there. And
it's saying
one of the running themes in Linux Gamecast history has always been like mayonnaise. So that you take that idea and you tie it in with the whatever the hell elks we come up with. Then you go into Inkscape and spend an afternoon like sticking all that together. Then you end up with stickers that you can get at store.linuxgamecast.com. It's also available in t-shirt format.
In t-shirt, I have a pink Hell Elks t-shirt.
Well, see, what I don't want is like Hellman's coming after me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What is that 24/7 stream? Because I'd seen Chris Pirillo's streams on Twitch every now and then. He was like always 3D printing something. And I'm like, all right, that's good background noise, like in the evenings or something if I was cooking. Now it's like, I don't know if he's live or not.
Yeah, I haven't watched or heard from him in a while. The last stream I saw he was doing on YouTube, and that was many moons ago when he was, heavily doing his network shows and whatnot, and on Tech TV.
He's got a Twitch channel.
Yeah, I knew he did. I think I have gone to it before, but I just haven't watched it. Actually, I'm subscribed, so I just haven't watched it in a while. But he's a cool guy. I always liked him.
Yeah, there's always some interesting ones on Twitch that you never think about. Like you see Jason Mewes. He streams. Like T-Pain streams, which is odd, but T-Pain's a pretty good streamer. Gotta give him credit. Who else is like a weird one? Deadmau5.
Oh, yeah, Deadmau5. Yeah, I watch him.
Like, I guess it makes sense when you sit back and think about it. Deadmau5 is like he does most of his show programming in Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, yeah, all right. And he's, accomplished developer. I'll give him that. So, I think that's like all the regular, like, people that you would run across. You're like, wait, they got a Twitch stream, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's surprising. I remember when I found Deadmau5 Twitch, and I was, wow. Because, he had done actually, one of the vloggers did a tour of his music production studio at his house. And that's how I found out he was on Twitch.
You might be thinking like that time Linus went to his house.
Yeah, Linus did, but there was someone else. I saw the Linus one, but the first time was someone else.
Oh, yeah, Dane Cook, right? You know what? That was like maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, look, Dane Cook's doing there. And I was like, yeah, he was just playing Call of Duty Bros. And like, sorry, I'm not. No offense. If Call of Duty Bros. Too Spooky for You edition is like your thing, that's cool, but I don't like. I'm burnt out on FPSs, man.
Yeah.
The guy from Dragon Force streams a lot too. Snoop streams? Yeah. That's true. I don't think I've ever caught one of his though.
Yeah, me neither.
Is he pretty good at COD? Wasn't he playing with a controller though? Like, that's where I take issue with something. That's where the PC gamer elitism just comes seeping out of me, and I'm like, really? I don't know. Like, if you can play a first-person shooter, I guess if that's all you know. I posted a little video on our Discord of something. This kid was like trying to play Hitman, and he was trying to like assassinate some people with his little pistol on the beach, and he kept on missing them. And he's got his controller, and he just leans over and grabs his mouse and goes like that.
Yeah.
Like, I do that all the time. That is how I play Tomb Raider. Anytime Laura Croft has to like pull out her bow or gun and take care of some people, I set the controller.
Get your mouse.
Yeah, I hold down the aim thing and I reach over and I grab the controller and I go clap, clap, clap. Just done. Like the segment's just over with instantly. And I think I've talked about that a couple of times.
Yeah.
By the time GoldenEye rolled around with the N64, that was not uncommon. Like more than one person was showing me this technical marvel. This, like, look at this, man. This is awesome. And, you had like the little analog stick. They loved it, and I was happy for them. But even when N64, the GoldenEye came out, like that looked like a Tinker toy compared to what we were playing on PC at the time, because we already had 3D effects. Hitman has aim assist. Yeah, that's another thing when you look at like aim assist and things like that. Or as I like to call it, cheating. But there's arguments to be had. You know, I have no refined muscle control in my thumbs. And I play first-person shooters with a trackball these days, so like that is the first thing I say if I'm on your team. I'm like, man,
I'll be a little.
Yeah, like
I don't not keep up.
I don't make excuses. I just tell you right out. It's like it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that with like Hitman. Hitman's got all the things I like stealth assassination, Rube Goldberg machines and stuff like that on the 10. And I played the first two hard trying to get into them because I really should like the games. I just don't like the games. Like I don't. Not from lack of trying. But I don't hate on them. I'm over that phase of life. I've like ticked over that part of the clock. I'm like, oh, like, yeah, if you like it, that's cool. I don't get wound up. Like, stop liking the things I don't like. Like, whatever. All right. I think we're good.
Do 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 do.
No herky jerks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Don M. Yeah, I hear you. I don't do well, honestly, at first person shooters because I can't see well. But I get better as I play the games more. But I love first person puzzle games. I love the Portals and the Talos Principle and those kind of games. Because those I can take my time with, and it's not required that you have good vision to aim and fire. You can do it at your own pace.
And that's something to be said for Trackmania.
Yeah, same thing.
Because the tracks don't change every time you drive them. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
let's got to get this thing. And you're playing it the exact same way everybody else is playing it. Yeah, we got to memorize it, right?
Yeah, you got to memorize it. Yeah.
Which I think is that's a good thing. That's a good thing. To like, and you can feel your brain fighting you sometimes. You're like, I don't want to learn this. Like, we're learning this.
It was like when I took a piano class, I did very well in the class, but I had to work 3 times as hard as like the other students because I couldn't read my the music notes when I'm trying to play. And for one, they were always the easel you put them on was always too far away from me, and so I'd memorize it, and my teacher would be amazed. Like. I think I memorized Beethoven's Fifth, and it sounded good, too. I got, like, the highest grade in the class, but I had to memorize it. I couldn't read the notes.
Yeah, piano's like one of the things I've never played around with too much, mainly because when I was a teenager, I did a thing that wrecked all the feeling in this end.
Oh, yeah.
So...
that's definitely an issue.
That's why I started playing guitar.
Okay.
And... I did that, and I think that same year I picked up the cello, too.
Cool.
Just to learn how to, because I can't tell how much pressure I'm putting on stuff with the sand.
Oh, yeah.
Even to this day, I know I'm touching something, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think the way to describe it is like no pins and needles. You know, like when you, like if your hand falls asleep, you don't get like the pins and needles, but you can tell like you're touching it.
Yeah.
That's all you get, but you can't tell like any pressure on it. So, yeah. Don't hold glass in your left hand.
Yeah.
I learned that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, the piano never like worked. I could never get that part like rewired like tonally.
Oh, okay.
I learned how to play piano. I can read sheet music. I mean, oh man, you want to talk about an angry teenager? Because I learned to play guitar reading off sheet music. And somebody's like, why don't you just use super tablature? I'm like, oh, what's super tabs? They showed me, I'm like, what? This is so much more efficient than trying. Oh, I was mad when I learned that.
Yeah, because you're like, all this time.
All this time. And I can just Anybody plays the guitar, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, that is so much more efficient notation for guitars.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I didn't learn the piano until college. It was one of the things I wanted to. Hey, I want to learn the piano because I never had opportunity in high school because I was always busy doing sports, competing, that kind of thing. So I was never and art classes. But I never got into the music side of things until college, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
No, I don't feel pain. I feel no pain. Yes. Be internet tough guy. It sucks. Like cuts, burns, scars. Like you learn to be careful real quick though.
Oh yeah.
So no. Like the only here I am, an old man, like really the only issue is I have to do that when I put my hands down on a keyboard. Because I don't know where my home keys are on this side.
Oh, okay. So you gotta feel it. Yeah,
I gotta like look and make sure I'm lined up on that side. And I'm like, all right, I'm good, and I can work from there. And sometimes I'll get off, but you can tell it. You're like, hey, that's a G. That should be an F. All right, move over. Like, big deal. Like people got real problems. That's not a real problem.
Yeah. You just learn to live with it.
Yeah, I don't think well, I don't know. Some people really like playing piano. I don't. I can play some mean chopsticks, so.
Oh, I bet.
Go to town chopsticks.
I wanted to continue piano more, never did, but maybe I will in the future.
We've
got one here at the house.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that I'm really jealous of, like the existence of like YouTube and things like that for like learning resources.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm jealous because I didn't have that as a teenager, but I'm also thankful that it exists. Because it is one step removed from the scene in The Matrix where he asked Trinity, he's like, do you know how to fly that thing? She's like, not yet. Operator. She's like, boom. Yeah. And, I always think about that when someone's like, hey, do you know how to do that? I'm like, not yet. Give me a minute.
Give me a minute,
YouTube videos. I'm like, all right.
I wish.
I can do it. So I like living in that. I countless times, I'm going to say, anytime I run into a problem, if you've been that person, you're like, oh, that thing's broke, I can probably fix it. Now you have that resource of cuts out some of the troubleshooting, right?
Yeah.
You're like, well, let's see if we can get it apart. I'm like, all right, let's see how we get this apart. Okay, all right, that's a common failure point. Oh yeah, I can do that. All right, cool. So yeah, fun times. You ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right, how you gonna go? And let me close that. Let me save that. And we hit that. Where do I want to be? There.
Hey, Ben. It's going to be a fun show. I got lots to talk about. It was such a huge news week for Linux.
Okay. Let's do this. That's recording. Boom. You're gonna want. I want you to hit that spring as hard as you can.
Oh no! Well, that was the first time I'd done that in years.
Nah, dude, I just want you to rip into it like.
And play it like a guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we should be good. Oh, that's running. That's doing good. There's a bit of software I'm testing out for a video and high test subjects. Let's go ahead and do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stone, joined every week by Jill Bryant, and you watching us live
hello.
Over on Twitch. How's it going, Joe? You got interviewed again. You were at Scale. A bunch of people running around doing interviews, right?
Oh yeah. And in fact, I had two there, but this one finally got released. So it was, I had a really fun interview with the Google Kubernetes podcast. Oh, there it is, Ben. Yeah, so it was really, really cool. So I got to talk about my history at the Southern California Linux Expo and the importance of the Linux Chicks of Los Angeles. I got to talk about LWW and my other podcasts I do. And so that was really, really fun. They had really good questions. And I like, if you go back and listen to it, I like how they organized all the people they interviewed. So that was really, really, it's really a fun listening.
Good times. Where can we find the KubernetesPodcast.com?
Yeah, exactly.
Episode 199.
199, scale 20x.
Yeah. I just realized if I got to get all the LED lights on, me living in my perpetual darkness.
Oh, yeah. I was just, it's so funny, Ben, because earlier I was realizing, boy, Ben looks dark today. I thought it was my vision because my vision hasn't been the greatest the last few days.
I mean.
So you were dark. Darker than usual.
Welcome to my resting state. Well, I did remember to cut the background on this monitor to not quite bright light, but a shade of, because we have like 43-inch monitors, so they work as a really good. Yeah, I didn't flip on all that. Oh, well, I guess I'll just be emo today. For the audio listeners, I'm slightly darker than normal.
Yes, you are. No red.
No red, no blue, no green, no RGBs. So what have we been up to? I've been working on I did a thing for patrons, and, I opened it up for everybody, but it was only on our Patreon page for people who want to learn about getting the Digital Audio Workstation Reaper set up on their Linux machines, because it's a popular DAW. And I'd like to move to Linux, but I don't see it because there's no exe. And you think when you're coming from Windows or you're coming from a Macintosh, you're looking for something like that. And how do I get this set up? And it's one of those things where you have to hit the command line, and that's a big step for somebody coming from Windows. And I saw that question pop up again last week in the Reaper forums in the Linux section of a guy asking, hey, help me, please, anybody. Can we just get that intro thing? And I'm like, let me rework this guide and just make a public one and put it out on YouTube for everybody to watch. So I've been working on that, and I think I'm going to do a couple of little things just to get everybody up to speed on that. Also, I was kind of excited in the audio world because I got a bunch of FireWire audio interfaces, and TAC finally released a version 1.0 of Sound FireWire Control, which is for the ALSA drivers. It gives you ALSA mixer controls for all your sound devices and fire. Yeah, so if you're familiar, you open up ALSA mixer, and if you got a Focus, Sapphire or something like that, you got one or two. But a lot of these FireWire interfaces will have things like compression, EQ, and all that. All that shows up now.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really neat. And maybe I'll do something with that video-wise, educational-wise, later on. And thanks, everybody who showed up on Sunday. It's always interesting. I edit Linux Themecast Weekly on Sundays. It's just an AMA stream. If you want to pop in, swing by, talk some smack. My favorite thing is people who show up to offer advice. Love it.
That's awesome. I'm so happy because when I go back and look at the chat, I see how much you've had how many people you've had in there and how busy it's been. It's awesome.
Well, it's not it's not an entertainment stream. Let's be very clear about that. And it's just a good way for people to stop by and go, wait a minute, you're doing this on Linux. I'm like, yeah. All this stuff in Linux and then cruise on. It's not, I'm not sitting there going, hey guys, this is how you do this. No, what's going on? Checked up. I'm just talking smack. You got a question, we'll answer it. But it's the boring, non-exciting things, the stuff that you got to do to make a podcast. So you might learn something.
Well, I think it's cool that you're streaming that live. You just, spending those hours video editing and people learning the process. It's awesome.
It is interesting. I enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy fate setting up against me each and every Sunday, though. Unique ways every week. I'm like, let's make sure you're about 30 minutes late on that. So I'm like, fine. I keep pushing the schedule back, and I can't push it back too far because I got to get the show out. Good times. I enjoy it. Come check it out. It's on Twitch. It's on our schedule with everything else. But when I'm doing these streams, I'm using this guy, DaVinci Resolve, and there's a new beta out, 18.5 has been released. And man, it's pretty neat. The big thing in this one, this is the nonlinear video editor that I use on Linux. And I even did a guide for getting this thing set up on AMD. And wow, it's an adventure. Mm-hmm. Be honest with you, it's a better love story if you just stick with NVIDIA. And I've been using DaVinci Resolve to edit the shows for years and years and years. This latest beta, it's got, the big one is transcriptions and subtitles. And what really threw me is this is not done in the cloud. This is all powered by the DaVinci Resolve neural engine. Like, what? Even so far as like I disconnected the Ethernoodles. I'm like, are you really doing this locally? And it's doing a good job of it. This is going to be handy for two things. One, it didn't even cross my mind until I watched somebody explaining a use for it. If you said something in a video, like, oh yeah, remember when we were talking about that and you got a bunch of B-roll to go through, you can search through what you talked for. You're like, hey, find this area in the video that I was talking about this, or we were talking about whatever, and it'll just jump right to that time code. Like, yeah, just go right here. The other one, subtitles. They can generate subtitles. You can bake that directly into the video. You can embed them. You can export them separately, however you want to do it. And a couple of things in the audio side. They finally got the voice isolation in Studio working for Linux. So if you got a bunch of background noise or anything going on, it can isolate your voice. And something people want, I haven't had a chance to play with it, is the dialogue editor and leveler. So it'll adjust your volumes to a target point. I got to get back to people on that to tell you how well that works. And here's a fun one. Here's a silly one. That sounds real silly. You can export GIFs or GIFs.
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 Go to the zoo and look at the giraffes. Here's the thing. There was some silly reason I needed to export a GIF. And I was like, man, can I do this in Resolve? I was like, no, we're a professional video editor. You can't do that. I'm like, but I need to do, now you can. So, if you ever need that to edit it, because, it'll break it out in like little keyframes and you just do that and boom, make a GIF. Happy to see that.
Very nice. It supports GIF 89A finally.
Another thing, I was excited because I misread it when I was reading the notes because it was like 3:00 in the morning. And I won, Brain. You hear me, Brain? I won. I went to bed. I didn't immediately get up and go play with it. I got up the next morning and played with it. It's got support for AC3 audio, which I misread as AAC audio. AC3 audio is the Dolby Atmos multi-channel stuff.
Yeah.
It's got support for that on Linux now. Still doesn't have support for AAC audio, which is a common thing for like cameras and things, consumer cameras, I should say.
Yeah, consumer, yeah.
That is a very common complaint. People's like, that's a showstopper. I can't use it because I'm like, dude, if that's a showstopper, you shouldn't be messing around with a professional video editor.
Yeah.
Still no support for VSTs, audio plugins that I'd like to make use of. We're using them right now in Reaper. That doesn't work under DaVinci Resolve just from they don't care or incompetence, or it's just not they don't know how to get it set up. I don't know why. I would love that. And here's something I was wondering, because DaVinci Resolve has been based on this archaic version of Red Hat. 7.3. That's old.
Yeah.
It's so
very old. Yeah.
It's going end of life. I'm like, well, what are they going to do? And I kind of had my little fingers crossed. I was like, man, wouldn't it be really cool if they came like just moved it to Debian because I'm selfish and like, that'd make my life easier. They decided to base the next version on something we've talked about, Rocky Linux.
Yeah.
So version 8.6 is what the new ISO is going to be based on, which, all right, that's pretty cool. And I just think that's a real big upgrade from 7.3. And, I still think it's amazing that we have we have just a professional video editor almost fully featured on Linux, and it runs as well as it does. Like, if you've been around using Linux for the past 30 years, this is a big accomplishment, Joe.
Yeah, this is huge. I need to upgrade to this new version of Resolve, especially when the stable version comes out, because I've been on Resolve 16 for years. And part of that is because, I still have an old, CentOS box with DaVinci on it. But there's one of the features that I was really excited about was the ability to export timeline markers as MKV chapters. And this will really help on YouTube. I know someone I work with that's helped him with his YouTube chapters. And that's a really nice feature that some of the other nonlinear video editors do have. So it's nice that DaVinci has it now.
It's a really, really solid piece of hardware. And if you're using it, even as a hobby type thing, no matter what your thoughts are about it, here's something I bring up every time I do a 4 or 5 hour long stream on Sundays. And I have hundreds of gigabytes of video and audio loaded into it while I'm working. You ever seen it crash?
Nope. Very stable. Yeah. Never
20
never
or 30
crashed.
hours. Yeah, it's like that's something that I never think about it crashing, which is such an unfortunate thing when you're dealing with KDE Live or OpenShot. You're waiting for them
constantly
to crash.
saving. Yeah.
I was explaining that. Somebody's asking, like, why do you keep saving? I'm like, reflexes, man.
Yeah.
I'm always hitting Control S anytime, at least every 3 or 4 minutes, even though I have DaVinci Resolve set to auto save, but I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
still
burned
do
too many
it.
times, right?
Hey, it's more stable than Adobe Premiere is right now. Adobe Premiere has been having a lot of issues.
I would have thought by now at least Adobe would have something on Linux,
Yeah, I know. It's just it's a travesty, especially because the likes of DaVinci Resolve are really taking their market in the professional world and in the animation world. I mean, Blackmagic Design is industry standard now. So all their software.
Yeah. Well, the software stuff, DaVinci Resolve's made big leaps and bounds, and
But I know a lot of studios that are using DaVinci now because of their color correction integration and because of the Fusion, which is like Adobe After Effects, and it's all part of the kit, and you just play one low price and you're done. You don't have to do a monthly subscription.
Well, that's one of the reasons Resolve has made as much headroom is you can buy a license for it.
Yeah,
they've not went for software as a service, and like. That's refreshing to see, something you can just own. I'm like, it's my piece of software. And it's, so far, it's been perpetual upgrades for free.
Yeah.
I bought a copy of Resolve at like version 14, and here we are at 18.5. And you just keep upgrading it, and not that expensive. But let's talk about the Fedora 38. Or as you wrote, Fedora 38 Pedro edition.
Yes, this is. Thank you, Pedro, for putting this in our show suggestions. So that was Pedro's term for it is Fedorf, but I'm going to call it Fedora 38. So, and it's really awesome because it's a week ahead of schedule. And yes, Fedora Linux 38 has been released. And there is a new Fedora Budgie Spin to enjoy the Budgie desktop, and a new Sway Spin to use the Sway window manager that uses Wayland. And, it's the drop-in replacement for the i3 window manager. But there's other spins as well. There's KDE, there's Cinnamon, there's XFCE, there's even...
the only correct one.
Compiz Mate. And almost every user interface you would like to use they've made a spin of. And of course there's i3M. And it's I'm sorry, it's what is it? It's the mate one is the Compiz Mate. I think I said that one. But that one I have installed on one of my machines. So that's really awesome. We have some new spins, and the Fedora workstation, features the latest GNOME 44 release, which includes a lot of great improvements to GNOME, including a new lock screen, a background app section on the quick menu in the top right, and improvements to the accessibility settings, which is always very important to me. And so if you try out the default Fedora 38, you'll be trying out the GNOME 44 edition unless you try out one of the spins. And another awesome thing is they enabled third-party repositories, enabled an unfiltered view of applications on FlatHub, and this includes ones that are proprietary. Awesome. So it's really nice to have a software center that also has some proprietary apps in it as well that you can pay for.
I wonder if it had anything to do with that guy who spent like 2 hours ranting about it on a live stream.
Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely, Ben. So, gosh, you can actually go download the latest Fedora 38 ISOs now and enjoy the new look of the website. Yes, it looks much better, and I think it's easier to find the links to download and all the things. It's just a much more nice modern look and easy to navigate. And if you want to update from an existing system, make sure to fully update your existing system before doing the upgrade, which is what I did. I upgraded to Fedora 38 on my Fedora 37 box, and it went smooth as usual. And as with previous releases, I actually really love the new wallpaper for Fedora 38. This one is one of my all-time favorites because the default wallpaper is really beautiful. It has white puffy clouds and a soft blue sky overlooking a beautiful green landscape. And it's really nice. I
a kaleidoscope of nightmares.
Yeah, I have used it for maybe an hour. I did my show notes, some of my show notes using Fedora 38. So that was really fun. And if you use the default Fedora 38, the GNOME 44 experience is one of the best on Fedora because it's vanilla and there's no changes to the default user interface. So just really, really nice release, and it's stable and clean as all the Fedora releases have been in the last few years.
Couple of things though. Like I like the idea that they've did some updates for the IBM Z series hardware. They've updated Z13 because I like the idea in the back of my head of Z series IBM hardware running Fedora. I'm like, that's brave.
It's so cool.
I like that. A couple of things. It does ship with Linux kernel 6.2. So that's going to have full support for Intel Arc out of the box, which is really neat. The new updated NVIDIA Nuvo drivers.
Nuvo, yeah.
And support for the Sony PlayStation controllers officially built into the kernel.
Yes.
Also neat.
Yes.
Thank you, Sony, strangely enough. Provided by Sony. And all in all, yeah, it's another solid release from the Fedora team.
Oh, it is. Oh, they even upgraded the one laptop per child sugar interface. And that's cool because I have several of the one lap per child devices, and that'll be nice to upgrade them.
It's kind of strange when we think about it because Fedora used to be like, what's a good way to put this? It used to be Arch, but more dangerous. It was could break any moment. It was
not
the bleeding
everything
edge.
Worked. Yes.
You just, you had to really know what you're doing. Like you had to work with and fight with it. I used to always recommend it for that. And, you had to be a little brave to run Fedora. Now it's interesting to see how Fedora's like, no, we're just cool distribution. No, just install it.
Yeah, everything works. It's plug and play. Not like the old Fedora core years.
Just make sure you install the XFCE version. You we good?
Yes.
What else? Oh, right. I took a look, Arthur, and put one of the things I'm also interested in speaking about Fedora is the Universal Blue project.
Yeah.
Being able to turn, it sounds weird, like, is turning like your PC into a Chromebook, your desktop into a Chromebook OS with like backups and stuff like that. I'm going to have to read into it a bit more. And
Me too.
I want to see like what's the difference between that and just like regular Silver Blue that comes in a bunch of different spins. Again, give me 2 more days in the week reality and I'll do a live stream. Yeah, we'll install it and play it. Right.
Install it. Yeah. I think because this one's more consumer based as opposed to enterprise.
I don't know. I tried to read through it a couple of times. There'll be a link in the show notes to the Universal Blue Project if you want to check it out. And yeah, good work on that. So we got a blast from the past. How long has it been since you've seen that logo?
I know. It's amazing. I love seeing that sailing ship.
That's like, what? Yeah, that's right. Solus is alive, maybe. This comes from Joshua Strobel. A post on the getsoul.us blog. First one in a while, man. You might not know. Like, if you're just walking in Linux, you're like, yeah, Solus. Like, yeah, Solus was the hot new thing a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, I think the last release was like sometime it was around like 2021. It's been a minute. And reading through this, this is all about charting a new course. Like, development during 2023 has just been non-existent. Like, DistroWatch has even marked Solus as dormant. And like, I went looking in the subreddit, and the subreddit is up until this post was just people going like, what happened? What's going on? So I'm glad to read this. I'm glad to see this because, short story long on this, in the January Solus infrastructure, this is what happened. Like, the infrastructure suffered a hardware level issue that caused a service outage. Basically, the system was not Raptor bus proof. So if the person in charge of the singular point of failure gets hit by a bus being driven by a Raptor, things go down. That seems to be what happened reading through that. And Ike, who started Solus, he kind of pieced out the project. He stepped in and he's offered them support for infrastructure. And they're like, all right, we're going to work with that. And they're going to rebase Solus on Ike's latest project, Serpent OS.
No, I think that's really cool that they're going to let them, share their servers and share the infrastructure. It's really awesome.
I think it's good that they got together with that. And they're going to wrap things up. This is their plans for the future right now. Telling you what they got planned, what's going to be going on in the future, and Solus 5. I wish them the best. Best. We'll see if they manage to execute on the plans. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all like a good comeback story, right?
Oh, we do. And this was one of the most, progressive distros out there when it came out. Because it was a scratch-built distro. And they got all the gaming mechanics to work on the back end for installing Steam, and it was really amazing. It was kind of neat to use a Linux from scratch distro where a lot of advanced features worked.
People really liked it, and I've been fortunate enough never to really have that happen in my life, but I can imagine, try to empathize with, especially if you get behind a new thing and everything's going right, and then all of a sudden it just gets abandoned. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a dark feeling, right?
Yeah. Poor Ike.
I'm sure there's plenty of Mandrake users out there going, yeah, right. And probably 3 people that use Corel Linux, but
yeah.
Fortunately, you got to think a popular Linux distributions, there's not a massive graveyard of abandoned ones, right?
Yeah.
Everything's kind of like Solus. Even Solus, when we talk about Solus has been around a while now.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, I mean, us, in the grand scheme of things, it's this new kid, but no, it's been around. Mm-hmm. Fedora is considered, mainstream old hat type stuff.
Yeah.
And, I guess people still use Mint. Mint's just there. Arch has been around forever now. I wonder what the new thing's going to be. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
There's going to be the new distribution.
Maybe it'll be Serpent OS. Ike's new distro.
Oh, man. There's got to be something. I'm sure there's going to be that shift eventually to all containerization on the desktop. And I'm like, fine, I'm out.
Yeah. Immutable systems are popular now.
Then I just go over to BSD.
Well, with the success of the Steam Deck, no wonder why. It's it works really well
for a gaming device.
Yeah, but it's also good for desktop and productivity.
No,
I've been having fun. I do a lot of my LWW show notes on my Steam Deck.
I can run a browser on.
Yeah. No, but I use it for gaming, a lot of things. I was playing around in OBS with it too. It works pretty good.
Yeah, if you're using OBS with Wayland, I know exactly how it works. And it launches.
Oh, it works better than that now, Ben. I even got a virtual camera working on it. That took some doing, though.
Wayland and OBS is, let me give everybody a pro tip. Don't do it. Don't use it. It's not yet ready for production. And I know that because I deal with the questions.
Yeah. Well, when you actually set up like your Linux window captures and screen captures, they have an option for using the Xsession.
Well, you're using the Flatpak version of it anyway.
Yeah. So it's all integrated and everything's working. So
Solus, we wish you the best. And it'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! More the merrier, the way I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, hipsters, we got something for you too.
Yeah, so this is dpaint.js. It's a web-based image editor modeled after the legendary Deluxe Paint. But it has a focus on retro image file formats, but it works with all your, most of your common file formats you can bring in. And it is really a fully featured image editor, and it supports PNG image, Amiga IF, and Amiga icon formats, and its own dpaint.json file format, which is, I was really impressed with that because it supports, layers, transparency, masking, and they said Adobe.PSD support is coming soon. But their own file format supports most of the features that the Adobe PSD does. So it's no problem there. Oh, there's Vin. Sorry about that, Vin. There's Vin trying to draw something while live streaming. That's always difficult. So it is written in 100% plain JavaScript and has no dependencies. And I was really also impressed with how fast and flexible it is. Like I said earlier, it supports layers and masking and other effects and filters. And it kind of lives in the world between the more advanced web-based Photopea image editor that is an alternative to Photoshop and other simpler web-based drawing programs. So it's kind of in the middle. It has a little bit more advanced features than some of the simpler ones, but not quite as advanced as Photopea. But it is, it's just so easy to use. Oh, and the big piece of news here that I was so happy about was you don't have to create an account to use it. Oh, there's so many of these web-based painting programs that you have to create a web-based account. No, this one, you just do file save the file, it saves it to your hard drive, and then you just import it or cut and paste it from another application. So it's that simple. And Foxdog in chat is the person who brought this to our attention. Thank you, Foxy. This is an awesome utility that I'm going to be using a lot now.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not going to pretend I am. I mean, it's neat to play with. It's neat. I can do that again.
Yeah. Well, it is cool that it supports all the Amiga formats too, which is nice.
Well, it's done in JavaScript too, and you can also build a little local copy too, so you don't have to use it completely web-based. There's instructions for doing that on the GitHub. I mean, it's a fun project, and for all I know, the Amiga IF, and I knew Strider was talking about it earlier this week, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't mess around. I'm devoid of nostalgia, so don't listen to me.
Oh yeah, well I used to use ifs a lot way back. Oh gosh, in the early days of animation, sometimes they wanted ifs. It was mostly targas, but occasionally they wanted ifs. So if this, then that. No, just IFF.
And in 2023, I'm not a hipster either, so I don't have any I'm man, I want to play. Maybe making pixel art, but I mean, there's other tools. Nothing against the project at all. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't write in and be like, no, this is awesome, and tell me why it's awesome. And I'll be like, oh, cool. I didn't even think about that. It is awesome. That's a cool project. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Well, think of it as, there's so many people who love Deluxe Paint, and this is an open source alternative.
There's 7 of you. Maybe 8, 9 if I'm being generous. Deluxe Paint, man. Again, this comes back to me with the nostalgia. Remember Deluxe Paint? And I'm like, yeah, it was horrible.
I like Deluxe Paint. it was very limited for what I needed it for because, I was doing professional animation, but it was there.
Do you remember Photoshop 1.0? Yeah, I do. It was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, Photoshop, was based on Aldus Photostyler. Adobe didn't make Photoshop. So, but they improved some things, but other things didn't improve when they took it over.
It was still horrible.
Yeah, it was. 1.0 was, and even 2, it was bad. Yeah.
It's like, don't you want to get back and play with your Commodore 64?
Corel Paint was far superior back then.
Man, Corel didn't even get usable like version 5, man. Corel, jeez, I hated it. I worked at a company that had all of the licensed CDs, like hundreds from all their clip art, man. I hated those things.
Yeah.
I hated those things. They were the bane of my existence because we didn't have the storage to have everything on drives too. So you were constantly going through the Rolodex, those drives, trying to find clip arts for whoever. Man. Anyway, have fun with it. Go play with it. It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Now, instead of doing the Raspberry Pi segment, we got a couple of emails that it was like, hey, we get questions. Usually they're just like simple questions like, hey, I want to get back to you. But we get some good ones every now and then. You can use our contact form to get in touch. We're going to get to that in just a second, right after some shameless self-promotion. That's right, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. We got a little one. You want to go check it out, support the show, linuxgamecast.com. We got a bunch of ways. We got our merch. We got PayPal. We got studio wish list. Jill's got a wish list. Jordan has one. Pedro's got one. We even take some of that magic internet money and try to convert it into educational content and sometimes just entertainment the way we like to do it. So we thank each and every one of you who support us or just share the show or anything like that. That's awesome. Come hang out with us if you're a patron or a Twitch subscriber. Link that to our Discord. That's where we're hanging out. Yeah. Bro, we know about Matrix. It's cool.
Yeah.
We also have an IRC, which is linked to our live show, Discord chat, and our Twitch chat. So all these communities can talk. That's what you're seeing in the bottom right there when you see our chatbot talking back and forwards, left and right, up and down. That's everybody from all the different services able to collaborate in real time. It is great. Now, I got a message when you sign up. You become a patron, I get a little beep, and it's like, oh, there's a new patron. And that's neat. Cool, man. And this was a name that I was like, never thought I'd see that day.
Yeah. Eshep. Oh, Eshep. He's been one of our loyal viewers for a long time, and he's been in Twitch chat. He's been on Mastodon talking with us and has sent in questions over the years. He's been a long time viewer. And now he's an officially patron of ours. Yay! And now he's in our Discord.
He got it set up. He logs into Discord. First message is like, fine, you win.
Yeah.
I'm a patron. You win.
It's time.
I don't think Eshep's been around since the IRC days. And
yeah,
I always
he has.
Catch up with him on Mastodon. And he's the one who picked up the... Sure, I got in. I'm sitting in right now.
That's right.
It is.
Remember.
I was talking about
I
the
have
chair
goodies
on
from
Sunday
him, too.
Because it's horribly uncomfortable. Everyone who sits in this chair goes, what? And I'm like, I can only sit down for like 15, 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I don't get comfortable in chairs. I don't care. I got this one because it only goes like halfway up my back, which I like. It's good up my back. Thank you, Eshep. He's a new executive producer with everything that entails, which is quite a lot. And that's a pretty high tier. I gotta be honest.
Thank you, Eshep.
Thank you so much. Now, 2 emails. What are we on time? Okay, we got about 5 minutes to get through these. 2 quick emails then. First one's from Livet, and he's talking about elder parts. A listener, Simon, has asked the question, what is the oldest piece of hardware still in active use in your gaming computer in the correct show? All right, so Livet wants to know on this show, I would like to ask the same question in the correct show. Apparently, this is the correct show for Livet. And now, there's always like the silly, I'm trying to win a contest answer to this, or there's the realistic, like, what do you normally do your show notes on? And I had to think about that.
Yeah, me too.
It's real simple for me. It's real simple for me because outside of the PCs in this room, which might seem strange to some of you, I use a tablet, or multiple tablets, really, I guess I should say. That's how I live my life. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, so I actually still use my old Commodore 64, my Commodore 128, and one of my 486s for gaming. And I actually, this is a computer I do show notes on quite a bit, is an old Pentium 4 computer I have, and it's running this card. Me and Ven have shown off our Voodoo cards before, but mine's in my machine. But here's the box. It's the 3DFX Voodoo 3.
Let's try to simplify it. What is the oldest piece of hardware in the PC you're using right now?
PC I'm using, the oldest piece of hardware. Well, it just got an upgrade, so...
Hey, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like I said, there's the honest answer, and I'm trying to win a contest answer.
Yes. But as far as the oldest gaming hardware I use regularly in one of my modern gaming rigs, I use a Super NES game controller with a USB dongle. And it works well. I use that for a lot of my games, a lot of my old retro games and new games that are side scrollers and whatnot. So I think it would be my NES game controller.
How do you use it, though? Because this says inside your computer.
I know. I don't know. My GPU is new. I guess the processor in this system is a couple years old now. So
you got a CD-ROM drive or a hard drive?
No, not on this. Not on my my podcasting rig. It's a little bit more modern than my other computers, which I have over 600. So depending on what computer I'm on. That could be anywhere between
like 11 and 300.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to think, like in this PC right here, because this is where I play my games. What would be the oldest thing in this thing?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, I know. My case.
There you go.
my pink case. I've had it now for about 8 years, but it's had different multiple systems in it that I've upgraded.
That would be. Yeah. See, that's where it gets squirrely, though. Is it like new in actual age or like new to you owning it?
Yeah.
Or older to you owning it. I'm going to say probably like manufacturing date. The oldest piece of hardware I have in this box right here is the Intensity Pro 4K.
Ah, okay.
Which is like 6 or 7 years old. And after that, it would be like the Threadripper, because this box is a first gen 1920X Threadripper. So like that thing came out like 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago?
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's about how old my processor that I have in here is.
Yeah.
5 years old. Yeah.
You know what's fast enough to run Trackmania? Which you should come play with us on Tuesdays and Fridays. Get all the details at linuxgamecast.com.
Yeah.
Up next.
Okay, you want me to?
I'll cut through this.
Okay.
You're going to have the answers for it.
Okay.
You mentioned the Ruffle project last week, so I looked into using it on my favorite Flash game, Desktop Tower Defense. Turns out Congregate already has implemented it on their website, which is kind of neat. It starts right up in Firefox, which is good, and plays just how I remember it. Not going to get a lot done this week as I invest my time into placing and upgrading gun towers. I mean, someone has to stop those circles and triangles from reaching the exit gates. Dun, dun, dun. Now, Jill, we talked about Ruffle and how cool it was bringing back Flash, right?
Yeah. Ruffle is the Adobe Flash player emulator written in Rust that we talked about several weeks ago on LWW 368. And Seth Al, thanks for letting us know and actually reminding me about Congregate.com. I still have my account on Congregate from ages ago, and a few of my favorite games are on there, and they were Flash-based. And it turns out two of the ones, my favorite ones, still work because of Ruffle. And it's really cool. And one of them is Sushi Cat 2 that I enjoyed from 2011, and the other is a 3D Logic game from just called 3D Logic from 2007. And they loaded, and on their pages it actually tells you that Ruffle is the Adobe Flash implementation for playing these games, but not everything may work correctly. But fortunately, on the two games I tried that I had in my library, worked fine. I was so happy. So this was really great, Vin, because now we have proof that Ruffle is working really well. So that's just so cool. It's really come a long way.
It's really neat, really fantastic to see. I couldn't, I want to go back to Newgrounds and dig out stuff and just see if it's there, when and if I get the time. But we appreciate your feedback, and we will eventually get to it. If you want to leave some, head over to our contact form, fill it out. Make sure you select the right show, as it was said this week, LWDW. Send it in, and maybe we can do like a little email show, like maybe once a month.
Yeah, cool.
Once a month, but I always do that, like form complete sentences and come with like real questions or ideas or thoughts or things like that. Don't write like, hey, I got a simple question. Talk, like read what I wrote on the show. No. So we appreciate you watching. We got to bounce. We're running along. It's already 42 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's cue the music and roll some credits.
Aw, thanks again to our new executive producer, Ishep. Woohoo! And he went all out. That was awesome. The only tier higher is advisor, which
almost
are Theron.
Correct.
And Omega says, oh, no, we have one that's higher than that. That's right.
It's the one should it's the danger one. Hey, everybody.
It's the danger one.
Super Death Stoat, Empty, Blasphema, all of our sea monsters like DSN, Joe, Krylo, Fute. I saw Fute in chat just a minute ago. Oil of Hope.
Yeah, we got
Fine,
Justin,
Piper,
your PPC,
Good luck.
Scott, Scoots. My Steve husband is in there. My brother, Jelly Bean. I got so many people in here. Can't name them all. Thank you to all our wonderful patrons.
Everybody, we'll see you again next week. Come catch us live if you can, or just pop in our Discord. That's where we're hanging out the other 6 days. And buckle up. This is always a fun ride.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye, everyone. Yay!
Come on, stop recording.
Oh, it's being stubborn.
It's trying to be...
Uh-oh. Hopefully you won't have to use the Twitch stream.
No. This is like audio on top of audio. I'm like, behave. Which happens. I'm doing a 3-human dance. I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm kind of like locked into it. But
locked into it, yeah.
It's one of those things that you grow into. I always dread, like, could you teach somebody how to do this? I'm like, not if I wanted to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody could do this. If this is like one of those things, you find out whether or not, because people's like, I'm good at multitasking. It's like, you want to find out?
Oh, yeah.
Because
I've done
most people who think they're good at multitasking are not.
I am not, but I am if I have to practice and work at it. That's my thing. When I was doing productions in college, I worked at the NBC studio we had, and I got to be the producer that said, roll the tape and check the lights and do all that stuff for a new show. And I did it, but I was exhausted after because there were so many elements that you got to think about. And it's the same with doing video podcasting. It's like you're in a TV studio. It's like, oh my God.
I can imagine being something as primitive as a TV studio.
Yeah.
That would be a significant downgrade.
Yeah.
Now I want you to do all that, then sit behind the desk and be on the show too.
Yep. Yeah, you're producing, you're the talent, you're everything.
Such is the job of technical director.
Yeah.
Now, the trick is you build the system to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you stand a fighting chance. All right. What are we showing off for H-Top's not doing anything? Oh, Mine's doing stuff though. That's not going to be any fun. Which tab do we want to show up? Don't show up the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi's pretty busy right now.
Oh, I bet. This little processor is working hard.
Let's see. Let's see. See, this is where I always like. This is where I end up with like questions with people. This is the system that's running OBS. We've probably got, I don't know, 45, 40. Yeah, we're gonna say closer to 50, but I'm lowballing that. Tabs open right now. We got OBS running. We got Discord running. We got a full digital audio workstation, Reaper running. We got ALSA player running, and we got NetJack running in the background, syncing everything, live recording video, doing loopback with a virtual, not even a virtual device, hardware devices. How much RAM am I using there?
Ooh. Just over 2 gigs.
9.
Looks like. Zoom in.
9.46.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I couldn't read it, so I have to zoom in.
This is why I get where I get.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You know, you're doing it under 16 gigs, so.
I'm doing it barely above 8.
Not even 12.
This is why I look at people a little bit sideways. And they're like, I'm always running out of. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you really doing? Like, what do you got going on in the background that you don't know about? Like,
You're being efficient, then.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just got stuff open. I'm asking. This is a very legitimate question. I'm not saying I'm spud. I got Chrome Beta open. I got Chromium. Yeah, probably Chromium over here. Tons and tons of tabs. How do you people choose? Is that just like a meme I'm not getting these days? Or people just like, I'm always running out of Chrome using up all the memory. I'm like, really? How many tabs do you have open? How much memory are you using, Joe?
Only 2 gigs.
2 gigs?
Yeah. I look, because I don't have that many tabs other than for the show notes.
Yeah.
That's usually when I have the most tabs open, is when I'm doing a show. On Chrome and Firefox.
Memory. Yeah. What is Here's using 1 gig. Let's see how Arthurian's doing here. 20 gigs? What you got open? Oh, what do you got JDK open?
Yeah.
What are you running in Java? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a lot of apps open right now, and I'm only at 2 gigs. But maybe you got a lot of stuff. See, I'm minimal with what I have running in the background. I don't let a lot of apps run in the background.
No, you don't, because we're very, very close to the same age. We grew up with no memory, so we close stuff when we're done using it.
I guess that's it. I'm so efficient. Like whenever I'm starting a new project, I open up the app, I close an old one.
If I got too many tabs open, I'm like, I'm gonna close some of these. I don't need these open unless you're like on a hunt. If you're on a day-long hunt and you're trying to fix something and you got multiple browsers open with the tabs where you can't read them, that's when you're working. But Minecraft, all right, I guess Minecraft would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like I don't even have desktop wallpaper because I don't want to.
Yeah, for instance, I don't have Steam running. I don't run that unless I'm doing, Trackmania or whatever. I keep it off. I keep only essential applications running for doing podcasting, so the computer's happy and not being driven and more efficient. And then you don't have issues with other programs because they're not open. So that's why, for me, my machine Steam is never set to default, load when I go into my desktop. I do all my stuff manually.
Let's see, for auto start, what do I have that auto starts? I mean, outside of like services, all right, I have barrier launches on default, but I use that all the time.
Yeah, but you need that.
I want barrier there when I cut on another desktop PC in here, and I just want to move my mouse over there.
Yeah.
I like Blue Man opens for Bluetooth support, and
Bluetooth.
That would motivate.
I actually have that off. I keep that off on this machine until I need to use it.
I don't, because like then I gotta like open that, then you can open Steam to use your controllers, because I use wireless controllers for everything.
That's right. Yeah. See, I use wired, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But then the wire's in my way, so there's good and bad.
You don't have to worry about keeping batteries charged.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's like I'm very limited. And like it's real easy to take a look at. Does GNOME have something like that? What are you running on GNOME?
Yeah, right now I'm on Mate. But like for instance, last week I was on Window Maker and I was only at like a gig total with Window Maker running.
Do I have anything below that? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, no, all right. In fairness, I have some Vent scripts running. If we're going to count those,
of course.
But
those are minimal. Like when you start up the machine and they run.
Well, there are like programs. Some X input modifications for this mouse.
Oh, okay.
Because I make it do the turn into a 3D mouse when I hold down a modifier key. So it's easier to so I can do 3D scroll with the trackball.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really helpful. Yeah, here's everything I have up and running. I just pulled that up in XFCE. I don't have anything below that, I checked. Everything below that's like GNOME stuff. So yeah, Policy Kit, I got XFCE notifications. Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 are just the modifiers I use, and the Envy fan control is green with Envy. Just running that script to start. The GUI doesn't launch, it just tells it to start up.
Nice. Backup
monitor, Policy Kit, Pulse Audio. That's it.
Yep, just running the apps I need
Water
right
tornadoes. Oh man, that's like saying you had a typhoon with extra steps.
Oh yeah, we've had those before. We call them water spouts.
MIRC connecting to more than one server at a time. I don't even know if I used MIRC.
Merc.
Like I really?
Merc.
Man. When did this one launch? No, I was definitely using... Maybe I was. What was like the pack-in IRC client? Been like 98, 99.
Yeah, ever since I've been on Linux Gamecast, I'd been using HexChat. And before that, I remember using the B***X, and I can't say that on the original.
Well, you see, Joe, you say that, and that's what I just looked up. I'm like, when did that come out? Because that's one I always used.
Yeah, that's the one I used to use.
That was from like 2013, though, which admittedly is a long time ago, but we're talking about much longer than that.
But there was something before that, and I'm not remembering the name, what I used.
But you're also talking to somebody that I only used IRC as a last resort. I did not hang out in IRC rooms. If I was in IRC rooms, I was there to ask some questions, man. I wasn't. Might have been XChat. How old's XChat?
Oh, yeah, it might have been XChat. I'm trying to think of what we used on my brother's BBS. He was using at the time. Well, he had two different. One was Wildcat.
XChat suddenly came out in 2012. I thought it was older than that.
Yeah, I think the B***X was older, but not by much.
No, that came out a year later. That came out in 2013.
Okay. Oh, okay. So XChat was older.
By a year, yeah.
Pigeon?
Ew.
That
Pigeon.
when was
Ew.
that?
Pigeon used to be called Are You Talking to Me? And before that, it was called Game.
Game. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, well, I know the first IRC client I used was on Wildcat server, BBS. Whatever that one was. It's been too long ago. I don't remember.
I'm just trying to think of the first ones I used on Linux.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a GUI. Like, I wasn't using it in the terminal. I mean, we had X servers back then.
Yeah, there were older ones around. I remember one I used on Unix. Oh, what was the name of that one? Yeah, let's Google it. Like, we're trying to Google it. Oldest IRC client Unix. You just type Unix. Let's see. Okay. No, IRSSI is newer and Quassel is newer. Those are just giving the best list, not the oldest list. FNet, maybe? Yeah, this is a puzzle. Okay. IRC LL. Okay. Yeah, the oldest one I used wasn't on would have been Unix and DOS. Before Linux.
Conversations have been around for a long time. I don't know when it first showed up, though. Like 2006?
You know what, Mir? I think you're right. IRCCL was... Yeah. That is one of the older ones. I still know people who use it.
I mean, it might have been MIRC, man. Like, that's been around since, like, 1995.
Okay.
I don't know when it came to Linux, though.
Yeah, because, well, Merc was very, very popular, and it was the back end for a lot of clients. Mm-hmm.
One sec.
But yeah, Merc wasn't on Unix. So that wasn't the one I used on Unix. But it was on Windows, of course. Yeah, this is fun to go through all this. A Merc. Okay. Oh, Justin, I have an RX 6950. I was going to go the 7000 route, but I just decided to stay in the 6000 series. I also have an RX 6600. I have an RTX, NVIDIA RTX 1660 Super. I also picked up a 2060 not too long ago. I just kind of, I grab them when I see them on sale or whatever. So, but I've been using them all in all my different machines. Yeah, so my 6950 kicks butt. That's what I'm using right now on this machine. Yeah, IRSSI is really nice headless client. Yeah, Fullistan. Yeah, the 16. I picked it up a few months ago during another sale, but now they're even on sale more. But they're still, still kind of pricey. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know if XChat chat is. I have to look. I know it was on and off. Like it had support and then it didn't.
6950s.
Yeah, I picked one up
What is that?
a few months ago. RX 6950, the MD. Yeah.
The video cards?
Yeah. Yeah, YChat. Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of us here in chat have used all the different IRC clients. WeChat. No, there's WeChat.
I know we talked about the 4070 on Linux Gamecast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is such like
the
worst timeline
of work.
we're in is like NVIDIA's going to release a card with, I mean, it's got 12 gigs. I'm like, hey, that's good. But I mean, it's only good when you put it in under the lens of like the absurdity of what GPUs are going for right now, like the modern GPUs from NVIDIA and AMD. $999. AMD bragging about that. I'm like, well, this is only $999. I'm like, okay, so you're the good type of cancer on this go around? I'm like, come on, guys. Like, let's get some decent GPUs. Like, low, affordable ones. I don't want the 4010, but, and they're going to try to make the 4060 like a 8 gig card. And I'm like, that's not happening.
Yeah, I know.
Here's something I did realize, though, because something we talked about on the show is like, where are all the super cheap 30 cards at?
Yeah.
We know they were bought. That's what all the Ethereum was mined with. We know they're out there because you can look at NVIDIA's profits. They sold millions of 30 series GPUs, just not to us. Right?
Yeah.
Where's that tsunami on? Why can't we go to eBay and just find hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of mining cards? Where'd they go? That's a legitimate mystery. Like, if you want to track something down, somebody should see if they can start tracking that down, because they've not materialized, and which is strange. And of course, NVIDIA's got like the price control thing with all the AIB partners, the MSIs and the ASUS's, and they're like, don't you dare put the 30 series on fire sale, because it'd be a shame if you didn't get, some supplies of the 40 series chips from us. That would be a shame. Might happen, because that's absolutely some stuff NVIDIA would do. Here's something I did realize, though. NVIDIA forgot about a segment. The Quadros.
I know. That's
I'm looking at used cards. It turns out you can get a used Quadro now, a 30 series Quadro. Because, like, what is the what do they run? Which one was it? The A4000, right?
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. That was about $500. Saying
new was about 13.
Oh, okay.
So about $1,400.
Got some used ones.
Currently, you can pick them up for about $1,000 right now.
$1,000,
like 900
okay.
to 1,000. But on the used market, you can get them for like $600.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done the price fixing on those.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of those on eBay the other day. I used to have to buy a Quadro, like I bought one almost yearly, but I don't need to anymore. Kind of nice. I spend money on the gaming cards now, or more money on the gaming cards. And it's so nice how the modern gaming card is really does a lot of the functions that the Quadro cards do. A lot of that is just their code and the way they write the code on the chip.
Hmm? There's a bunch of fixed functions in Quadros that aren't available in the gaming cards, especially when it comes out to like rendering and
the 2D stuff. That's why I always had to have the Quadros for the rastering, and that's what they're good at. But again, a lot of that is the way they do all the coding and whatnot.
Well, it's a software lock in the actual drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get around it, there's ways to patch around it and have been for quite some time on the NVIDIA.
Yeah,
so.
and I've done that before, a little bit of it.
But you're also dealing with the memory bus too, and double precision that you're going to get in the Quadros that you're not going to get in the gaming cards. I mean, there's plus and minuses. And with the Quadros, like even the modern ones, they're single slot. You might get a dual slot, but they're blower style and they're loud.
They're loud as heck, yes.
Yeah, the silicon in them are usually the same thing.
Mm-hmm. They're usually like several generation old GTX chips in there.
What? No, not with modern Quadros. They're like the same with like 3000 to be 3000 and...
Yeah, the older ones, that was the case.
Yeah, I bought a reasonably recent-ish Quadro a couple of years ago just to do a noise test on it. I got it used, it wasn't like the latest and greatest by any stretch of the imagination, but it was the modern blower style. And I did some hacking on the Nuvo drivers to even setting the fan to the quietest without letting the GPU melt. It was too loud to run. The noise floor was way too high.
Mm. Yeah.
But they're good on power too.
They are. Yeah.
They're getting like 140 watts, which is nice.
And multi-monitor. It's nice.
Yeah, that's always been like the weird one right there, because you can get like the Quadros that don't do nothing, but they got a lot of displays on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They'll have like mini display ports on them.
So I used to have to buy thousands of Quadros for our labs at school, for my animation lab and some of the other CAD labs. And, they would give us, we had a deep discount. So the $2,000 cards, I used to get them for about $500 for each workstation. That was really nice. That was really cool to be able to do that and take advantage of it too. So that's how come I would get a card every year, a new card. But yeah, we had to use them because they were enhanced for the 2D rasterization for rendering.
On Reddit. Yeah, those things. I saw somebody on Home Lab. He was like, oh boy, I got some of these bad boys in. And like those things, I'm looking at that thumbnail that you posted that looks like the ones that were based on Maxwell. And what Scott posted is the server.
Oh.
Ones, they don't have any fans built into them.
Yeah.
Forced induction, they're behind the rail in the server. You're going to have that rail of cooling fans.
Yeah, and then you have the...
So you get a 3D print, an attachment to put a blower on the back of them. They're absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they're cool things to have, like if you were into collecting cards, but like there's no practical uses for those because the amount of power they draw versus what they can do is completely out of whack with modern hardware these days. Like those things, like just get stomped on. I think they were Maxwell. That generation was I can't tell from the thumbnail, and I'm being like, and I'm too lazy to click the link to look at it. So, and you saw like the current compute, like Nvidia's big thing these days is they're ahead of the game in AI.
Oh yeah.
Carmack posted. I talked about it on the show Saturday. The what was it? Oh man.
Okay, so I looked at the last NVIDIA Quadro I bought was the 6000, and it's still selling for $250. I was like, yay. Actually, I put one in Steven's machine, in his CAD CAM machine he uses.
Like the business Quadro, that's what I'm saying. Like you can get, like they make the little business Quadros too, which are like quiet. You know, you can get passively cold ones still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Stomp Stomp? What's Stomp Stomp mean in Canadian? I'm unfamiliar with that.
Like upset.
Here's the modern Tesla H1000s.
Oh, those are amazing. Yeah.
Going for $40,000. The deep learning GPUs. This, by the way, if you're not aware, this is NVIDIA's customer base now, not us. And you're like, man, that must be some crazy scalping, right? Because like these things are going for like $40,000. You're like, how much are they getting marked up? Not much, because these things retail for $35,000 a pop. But they're in short enough supply where you're seeing scalping. Like that's how many. I forget, it was like last week or week before, there were something like 200 new AI startups registered in like San Francisco or something like that. It's ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
The 140 watts, see, it's not like really the wattage so much with the A4000, it's the 1U cooler design and being a blower. Like, if you've had like a chunky, like even like a 2U, not 2U, but 2 slot, you know what I mean when I say 2U, we're just pretending, right?
Pizza box.
Right.
Blade.
Server.
Yeah.
But like with, a 2 slot blower is fine. Those 1 slot blowers, man, they are shouty.
Oh yeah, I've got one. I have 2 that Steve has been mounted under this desk because I used to use them for rendering all the time. And they're the HP ProLiant single, not the doubles. And those little fans, you turn them on, you can hear them outside of the house. There's like 12 of those little tiny fans. Great for rendering, but oh my god, I don't need the noise. That's why from years ago, I have a big rack of Blade servers out in the garage, so I didn't have to hear the noise. It's horrible, but they render like this server here has 4 Xeons in it, and I have another one with 2. They're screaming machines, but boy, they also scream in noise.
They're antiques.
Yeah.
I would just send it off to the cloud.
Yeah, I know. That is so cool. Yeah. Even Disney and Pixar, they're using cloud-based. Well,
it's all like server-based. Like even if you're like rendering on premises, like no one's doing it on individual machines anymore, man.
I know. Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, because you can build up a rack of something. And yeah, it's pretty dope. I mean, I'd like to get. I'm kind of keeping an eye on like the A4000s because it would be.
Yeah.
I could use it as a render card.
Yeah, definitely.
But I got to get under $600 for one. Like, if I find one for like $300, I'll buy one. Because DaVinci Resolve's smart enough to go, hey, this one I'm going to use for display and this one I'm going to use for rendering. But if you want me to, when you hit go, I can use both of them. Yeah, it's about a 3070 Ti, but louder, way louder. You can pull up, you can go look at the P&Y data sheet. Like they're screamy cards. They're not something I would be using in here during a show.
No, something for offloading. That would be good, Vin.
I want to live in, man, I would love like to have like, this is like software as a service kicking in. When I get the idea, I talk about this. I've talked about this a couple times. when Intel, I guess they're still going forward with it. They're bringing back on the server side where you get like the big fat chip, but you can unlock performance levels.
Yeah.
By giving them more money.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I'd be very happy, like, if I could get the chip at the base price, where I could just, like, timeshare. Like, hey, can I unlock this chip from, like, this hour to this hour on Sunday? I'd pay for that. Which is a very niche use case, but I'd like to have enough bandwidth to, like, do everything in the cloud if I could.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Yeah, everything's going to be coming down in price. I mean,
the A4000 is based on the 3070 Ti.
Yes. Well, it's not based on the 3070. It's equivalent performance. For, like, rasterization. If you were going to do, like, back and forth gaming, like a gaming benchmark on a Quadro, because that sounds like something a YouTuber would do.
Yes.
Well, I mean, when it comes to, like 1080p, 1440p gaming, I don't have any problems with my 3060, like, right now. And Scott just got the 4070, which, like, I think if you get a 4070, man, like, as long as you're not trying to, like, 4K gaming, if you're doing 1440p, man, 4070 is nice. Like, if you're coming from, Scott was coming from a 2080 Ti. And we're still chasing 4K.
We are 4K. For AAA. I mean, for all the games I play, they play great on 4K, but but I'm not usually playing AAA games. I do have to, test them and review them, but I don't. Yeah, they're not the games I play all the time usually, except for like Tomb Raider. There's a few that I do.
Tomb Raider?
Yeah, Tomb Raider is one of the few AAAs.
I still make fun of them when they're like, do you know how old that game is now? Don't look it up.
Yeah.
That last Tomb Raider is like, yeah, that just came out. I'm like, no, it didn't. It's like The Witcher. When you see The Witcher in the benchmarks, man, they're like, that's a 7-year-old game, and it better be able to run The Witcher.
It better be, after all this time. Yeah. So that's the thing. Most of the game, I like to play the indie games personally. So, but I do, test the AAA games on my cards. I always do. But I don't usually play those. Those aren't my usual. Sometimes, just depends.
But yeah,
I like the independent artistic games.
That's my game more than not. It's fun. I don't look who made it. RTX is, it's pretty dope. I mean, I was able to run, I was posting that in our Discord when that patch came out. Yeah. Even the 3060 I was able to get with DLSS enabled. I was able to run The Witcher at 4K, consumer 4K 2160p. Over 60 FPS on the 3060. It worked. It's playable. Looked fine. Like, that stuff works, man. DLSS is Scandinavian witchcraft. I mean, FSR is getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, the time vortex. It just gets worse as you get older, Scott. You got that to look forward to.
Oh, yeah, Steve has his husband. I miss Rockley Smile. He used to do all the indie games that I love. But he's not doing that anymore. Yeah, you did. Yeah, because he used to watch his videos with me, and he enjoyed watching them too.
All right, it's 5 o'clock. I gotta get to work, kids. He's got a video from 4 months ago.
Yeah, I did go to his YouTube not too long ago, but mostly he's doing games I'm not as interested in now. Occasionally he has one that I like.
Will you watch him if he goes to Disney World and does a tour?
Yeah.
Let me see. Anything explode while we've been doing this? No, that's always good. Cool. Yeah, everyone. It's fun hanging out. This is part of the show I like, beginning the show. I mean, I like doing the show too, but I got to go do the part that I don't like doing. Then I can't keep putting it off.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I hated it, I wouldn't do it if I hated it, but it's the work part. It's the, I got to go turn the all the data bits. I got to do that. So have fun. Get into some stuff. There's still plenty of Wednesday left. And for that matter of fact, there's still plenty of a week left for you to get into. So shame on you, Nightbot. You shilling Nightbot. I was like, that'll be about 350.
Thank you, Rev Malay. I like your name. I think I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Rev Malay?
Mallet.
Is it?
Mallet.
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 Or I'm thinking of George Malay.
That's right. It's got plenty of week left. Ha 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 ha. Moo ha ha. Hey.
Oh gosh, I'm looking forward to it being Monday soon.
If you want to come check out what's going on tomorrow, that's going to be Strange Brigade. Jordan's going to be here at 7:30 to do that multiplayer. I think there's like 2 slots open. So ping him at Frojo in our Discord if you want to participate in that. Walk-ins are welcome, but don't wait until like the stream starts to be like, I want to play, because you won't get to play. That's how that works. And we'll be back Friday at 7:30. Yeah, we're going to point at each other. We're going to be doing a points match.
Yeah.
And after Trackmania, there's been an update to Turbo Golf Racing.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like space levels. So we're going to be doing that in the after shows. Traditionally, we do like the Cup of the Day and the new Trackmania, but I think we're going to be doing the Turbo Golf in the after shows on Friday. So if you want to come hang out, come say hi, come do it. And Saturday, again, at 7:30. That's a good time. We're going to do the pre super shows, and 8:30 we'll be back here on Twitch for the general viewing audience for Linux Gamecast Weekly. Cool. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a good rest of your Wednesday and keep those penguins marching. See, there's the Hell Elks. Beastie. Hey, look at the Hell Elks logo that Ven made. Looks like mayonnaise.